Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's pick a card reading, your next transmutation. This is combining a subscriber's suggestion with the question at hand today. We're going to break it down. We're going to see how this connects to your next lesson. Okay, and this can involve triggers, shadow work. We will see what applies when we get to each reading. A couple of quick channel messages before I do begin. Rainbows are coming forward as significant. I also hear rainbow hair. Some of you may have multicolored hair. You're considering that, or you have color in your hair that resembles a rainbow. I also see that some people can refer to you as a rainbow. You have this kind of light about you. You brighten up people's day. It's also something that I'm seeing you are going to hear, okay? There is some future energy there. You're going to be complimented on your aura, your energy, and it will be referred to as being like that of a rainbow, okay? I also hear that the sun will shine again. So some of you are also going to be getting your own personal rainbow. And what I mean is that your environment, your life is going to start reflecting that kind of energy. It's positivity, radiance, blossoming, okay? And to a degree, it's also about you getting your pot of gold right at the end of the rainbow. There is also significance around the color pink. The color pink and self-love, okay? Some of you may be working through self-love at this time. You're deciding to give yourself radical self-love, self-acceptance. This can be kind of getting us towards what's going to come up in the readings, okay? Yeah. And the month of March and May stand out. I'm not being drawn to one particular year, though for some reason those months are coming forward. They may connect to someone, and also the number 17. There's also a message here that people are viewing you as a catch, okay? So some of you, you're also in an energy, you're going to be in an energy. Keep in mind you're all on different parts of the timeline, as I always say, and I'm picking up past, present, future, oftentimes more than one simultaneously. You're going to be viewed as being a catch, okay? So there's something here where you're going to be attractive, more attractive and attracting, right? So you're going to be in this energy of heightened attractiveness, more than usual for some reason, okay? You will know what that's about. You will know what that connects to. Yes, this could be the self-love, this sense of radical self-acceptance. This is very attractive quality. And I'm seeing that open up a path for you, okay? It's opening up opportunities for you. And not because that opportunity can only come based on attractiveness. It's not just about that. That's what applies in the material world, okay? That's how it's starting. That's reflecting what's already going on in the inner. And I'm seeing that confirmation of that for you is you receiving the compliments, you hearing that. That's the universe speaking to you, right? Through people, through the environment around you. That's what I mean by that. Because you're going to have it either way. Because this is something from the inner. It's just that is how it will be showing up for you, and you'll see that being reflected back, okay? So some of you are going to be experiencing, like, literally that kind of mirror. Like, oh wow, that's reflecting how I am. Your vibration is shifting. And there's more alignment here. Right, those are the child messages. Let's take a look at your piles. Pile 1 is the rose quartz. It's a bracelet, rose quartz bracelet. Pile 2 is the shell, and pile 3 is the peach colored flower. Okay, I'll see you at your reading. Hello, pile 1, welcome to your reading, your next transmutation. You chose the rose quartz bracelet. You may have a rose quartz, you're considering getting one, and I see that the challenge messages regarding self-love, this sense of radical self-acceptance, is connecting to your pile, okay? I'm going to get some initials today, actually, letters. It can connect to your first, middle, last name, so that you can connect to your pal a bit more. And I have this lovely shell plate, so I'm just going to put them on there. Let's have a look. And I got some new letters. Let's get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we have the letter, well, let me make sure I'm getting it the right way. Yeah. P, K, I, twice, J, W. Okay. So these letters can be in your first, second, or last name. And this is to help you pick your pile. Just some extra details for fun. Okay. All right, let's see the first card I have for you, pal one. And we have patience. So right away, the energy that's coming forward for you, pal one, okay, and your next lesson and what you'll be transmuting is patience, okay? And I hear waiting to make a better move. So there's something here about your next lesson involving waiting for better timing, waiting for better circumstance, okay? And waiting for betterment of yourself. There's something to do with betterment of yourself, okay? Where there has been imbalance. So there's also this sense of balance, right? And when I say betterment, it's also to do with you realizing that you deserve to have situations, to be in situations and circumstances that are beneficial for you. And not in the sense of the ego self, it's not that, but it's from the place of love for yourself, right? So there is this sense of also, combined with this next lesson for you, it's like deservability. There's something about deservability and self-worth, and that you are worth the wait, right? You are worth being patient with also. So it goes in reverse. This is also about how you will be reacting to others. That actually, if you want to get to know me, if this is in a romantic situation, even friendship, right? Work environment, if you want me to give my all, give more of me, then you also have to give, and you have to be patient with how that unfolds. Okay, so it works both ways is what I'm seeing. And I see here that also when it comes to the sense of better timing, being patient for better timing, it's because I'm seeing here that the universe, your spirit team, who you work with, okay, who you believe in, they can see something bigger. You know, they see another perspective from the higher realm. So it's guidance, right? It's guidance for you to also see that something is not perhaps moving at that particular moment in time because there's something better. And when I see the card and we have this moon cycle, right? The moons in the different positions, but they're straight lined, right? They're in line. So I'm seeing that this is leading to your alignment, okay? And there's also something about the back here, the back and the spine. So this can be strengthening physically, okay? Literally in the material world, working out and strengthening your back, okay? Muscles. But it's also about your spiritual back. So the spirit realm, your spirit teams, who you work with, again, who you believe in, they have your back, okay? They're looking out for you. And we have two cactuses on here. Cactuses represent protection, okay? And we also know how cactuses can survive for a long time. That's what they're designed for. They're designed to last in a drought because they can store water. So it's almost as though this next lesson regarding patience and balance for you, pal one, it's going to be building resilience. You're going to be building resilience. That is your next lesson. Patience, balance, and resilience, okay? And also having your own back, right? Having your own back. And as I shared, only participating in situations, people, places, and things that are beneficial to you because they keep you in alignment. It's like the question is, does this keep me in alignment? Is this going to add to my alignment? If you're not comfortable with, beneficial, because it does, it gives that tone of ego, like I say, but it's not coming from that place. It's like, does this align with me? Okay. So let's see. We're going to get a couple more cards from here. Yes, and having patience with yourself. Okay, pile one. Slow it down. Wow. Wow, okay. Yep. And strength. Come on. Do I need to say anything else? Yeah. So we have Moonstone. You may have a Moonstone. Pile one, you may work with crystals a lot, actually, and you may heal through crystals, through crystals, with crystals, and also what I hear is you have a connection with sentient beings, so beings of the higher realms. It doesn't just have to be angelic, different beings, Lemuria, ancient, the sentient beings that connect to ancientness and ancient systems is what I hear, actually. So I can also be talking to an astrologer here, or you understand astrology very well and the planets. Moonstone and slow it down. So there is certainly indication here of your next lesson, okay, that also involves you taking the time to process things, okay? Perhaps you haven't had that, you haven't even had the opportunity in the past, but now it's like you're gonna have to kind of take the reign on that. And even if it feels like there's no time for me to process this, I don't have time to sit and meditate and do what seems like the correct way, right? And there's no correct way, there's your way. But you're gonna have to take the reins. I'm like, no, this is my time. I'm putting this time aside for me to slow it down, for me to give patience to myself, to not let pressures overwhelm me, okay? And this says Yang Moon. So there can be a connection here to yin and yang, that balance between the masculine and the feminine, right? Those energies, perhaps the balance between when you want to be more in your masculine, more in your feminine, right? I do hear burnout. So some of you can have been experiencing burnout. So that also combines into this next lesson. It's very much so about you here, pile one, okay? For you to be able to see what you need, right? Okay, I'd now like to see one card from the Muse Tarot deck regards to how you'll be transmuting that, like how, what in what way will that show up regards to your next transmutation, okay? Working through this next lesson. Yeah, and I just want to say, when I look at the man on this card, he's in shape, he's very much so in shape, he has muscles, what's the word I'm looking for? Toned, that's it, toned. So that confirms this sense of, building your strength and muscle, and particularly the spine, right? The back area, the base of the spine, root chakra, okay? Let me put my disclaimer in. It's not a health reading. I'm reading the energy of that, okay? Just keep that in mind. Let's just have to cover that part. Right, let's see. Yeah, here looking good. Gonna be looking good. That's how you're transmutating, how that's showing up as well for you. Again, that attractiveness. That was in the channel messages, if I'm correct. So you might want to listen to those if you didn't get time or you skipped it. 10 of materials. So your next transmutation is bringing you some type of financial security, okay? Groundedness, happiness, and a happy environment, a happier environment, particularly work, since we have 10 of materials, 10 of pentacles, a happier community, a happier social life. Because ultimately, with this next lesson and what you're transmuting next, Pile 1, okay, it's about what makes you feel good, what makes you feel better, what you need, giving yourself grace, the things you've extended to others, right, that you will now be extending to yourself. And in turn, upon transmuting that, it's bringing you material wealth, it's bringing you material goods, is what I hear. And this really can be you deciding to prioritize. Actually, I'm not going to buy XYZ for this person, that person. I'm going to keep that and I'm going to put that towards something for myself. And again, it's not from that selfish standpoint, right? Oh, you know, but I love giving to others. Yes, that's very clear, you do. You are a giver, okay? And a lover is what I hear. But it's about that balance of you giving to you. And it's not even so much about the monetary, you know, the monetary value, but it's the energetics behind it and what it means and what it stands for. It doesn't matter if it's £1, $1, that you're deciding, no, that $1 for me, that £1 for me. Krona, you know, all the different currencies in the world. Okay? That's what it's about. And in turn, this is how it's going to be showing up for you. That's how that transmutation will show up with your next lesson. That's what I have for you. Beautiful reading. Thank you so much, Pile 1. See you soon for another one. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to your reading, your next transmutation. You chose the shell. Let's take a look at the first card I have for you. And we have focus. So your next lesson, Pile 2, your next transmutation, let me reword that. Your next transmutation and the lesson that's involved in that is regarding focus, okay? There's importance here for you to also have clarity of the mind, okay? So your next lesson is also going to involve working with the mind. What I do here is getting the mind under control. So there's something to do with getting your mind under control. This can connect to overthinking, right? This can also connect to brain fog of some type and not being able to organize thoughts. So there can be an overwhelm, but I see this has gone on for some time, right? This is why it's coming up as a lesson, something you will transmute. This could be a default, that's the word, a default pattern, okay? For some of you, when you go through certain situations, the default pattern is to go back. The overwhelm, the overthinking, I can't organize my thoughts, right? So there's this lesson here regards to focus and priority. And I hear focus on what matters, prioritize what matters, okay? So it can be here as well, a lesson to do with, you know, those distractions, the triggers, when people kind of pull you off your train of thought, when you already were accurate. Gaslighting comes forward. It's about you listening to you. So yes, we could say intuition, but again, it's the mind area. So the mind can be getting in the way of intuition, right, for some of you. So it's a lesson of, you know, listening to you, your mind, your thoughts, and separating those thoughts that aren't yours, that's someone else's. There's someone else's. That's an influence coming from outside. Okay? Let's get some more cards. Shadow work. Yeah. Night moon, shadow work. The moon's reflection, accept responsibility. Okay. Yeah. Okay, part 2. What I'm hearing is right from wrong. Something to do with right from wrong, okay? And I'm hearing that, but don't get too attached to putting things into the category of right or wrong in this context. I'm just hearing it that way because it's giving me the energy that I'm trying to portray, okay? So right from wrong. And what I hear is, you should know right from wrong, okay? So this draws me back to the first card. And outside influences, thoughts that don't belong to you, gaslighting, and this sense of you are wrong, okay? But it's coming from outside. So there is an element of self-esteem here, right? Self-esteem. And this shadow work energy, the night moon, okay? Part of your next lesson involves shadow work. Yes, we've got it right there. It's on the card. And it's to do with you realizing and seeing you are not the problem. And you haven't been the problem. In fact, you have been a problem because you are not acting according to what you should be doing. Oh, you should be doing what's right. You should know what's right. This kind of disciplinary, let me see if I can say that word, disciplinary. Yeah, that's it. This disciplinary, okay, voice that has some type of control to a degree, but not completely, because you have awareness, but it's about a sense of mastery, right? Not perfection, but mastery, so that you can serve yourself. And it's also to do with boundaries here. So for some of you, this can stem as far back as younger years. This is something that you've experienced often because you don't follow the crowd. And yet it's been a matter of finding ways to kind of keep that at bay, right? You may already actually be working through this rather than it's predictive. You may have clicked on this reading and it's more of a confirmation that, yeah, I know, and I'm working through that right now. Because I have an energy of, I've had it up to here. Where is this coming from? So certainly shadow work, and there's also this subconscious element to it, like, you know, working on the subconscious. Why is that popping up? Why do I feel there's like this domineering, who am I answering to? I answer to me, right? You answer to yourself. So the moon's reflections, accept responsibility. Of course, this is a big one, right? I see here that ultimately, this is something that you are already doing. You are already doing that. And I have to say, there's a side note. For some of you, by working through, okay, the lessons, the triggers we've touched on so far, you're going to be able to sit back and see others having to do that and accept responsibility. There is a particular situation for some of you, okay, so this is quite specific. You can kind of pause the reading at this point if this does not, you know, connect and resonate. There's a specific situation connecting to pile 2 for some that you're awaiting a sense of justice here, to see someone's, it can be more than one person, accept responsibility about a situation connecting to you. That is going to be part of the transmutation. That is what is going to come out of it. And you'll get to see that in real time. So that's the side note. For you personally, back to you and the message of the moon's reflection and accept responsibility. I see that that is something that is giving you power. And this is what you're working through with this shadow work and your next lesson. And ultimately, you're transmuting this shadow work, this lesson on focus, focusing on the thoughts, your mind, the power of your mind, taking back control. You are transmuting it into personal power, spiritual power. I have goddess energy, divine energy. And look at the image, you know, she's beautiful. And this can be for both genders, but you know, it's a beautiful woman on there. Doesn't matter in that degree, beautiful, handsome. It's inner and outer, divine, feminine, divine, whichever way you want to call it, emperor, empress. Yeah. Priestess, yeah. Yeah. Some of you who've chose this pile, you are a priestess. You are a very powerful spiritual worker, priest, high priest, high priestess, okay, a seer yourself. And this is why this work is very deep and very powerful. And this accept responsibility, because I just heard someone saying, well, I did that my whole life. That's not news to me. Because you've always seen. And that is what has been that thorn, right? According to other people's way of viewing things, like society's structures and systems. Oh no, don't tell the truth, don't speak out, don't, you know, keep the peace. But you're a truth teller. So also part of this shadow work, right, this focus, this lesson on focus and shadow work, it's also about you seeing that the true power is also in you knowing the truth, right? You know the truth. That in itself is power. Even with the fake thoughts, right? The fake influences that can be domineering, because we can't not acknowledge them. They still exist in the reality. They have their own, how can I say, psyche, right? Their own energetic patterns. Even the fake, right? Because it's still there. It's that pushback against the truth, what's coming out. And you know what I forgot to do for you, pal, too? Because the reading took me to deep reading. I forgot to get you some initials. So I'm going to get them for you now. This is for you to just connect to the reading more. Okay, this can be in your first, middle, last name. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So pile 2, for you to connect more to the reading, you could have a T, an L, an A, a D, an M, or a V, as I say, in your first, middle, last name. Okay? That was your reading. Really powerful, beautiful. I do hope you enjoyed that today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon for another one. Bye for now. Hello, pile 3. Welcome to your reading, your next transmutation. You chose the peach flower. Let's see the first card I have for you. We have Ring Around the Moon, Protection. Before we continue, so I don't forget like how to, I'm going to get some initials of these new little initials, letters. I keep saying initial, but it can be first, second or last name that I'm picking them for you to connect to your reading more, just to add a little bit more of a fun element to the reading. I'm going to get 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have letter C, Q, C again, N, E, and S. Okay? Are they on screen? Yeah, they're on screen. Okay. I'm just going to put that there so we've got some space. Right, so the first card we have regards to your next transmutation, pile 3, is Ring Around the Moon, Protection. So, a part of your next lesson, which connects to this transmutation, is to do with you protecting yourself, especially protecting your energy. So yes, in the material world, but also energetically and spiritually here, okay? There's something to do with learning lesson about protecting what's yours, what you've created, okay? Though especially energetically and spiritually. Yes, I just heard to keep their nose out. Keep their nose out, and to keep someone guessing. So this is also to do with you having to rehash, revisit, amplify in some instances what you already have in place. There's something you need to relook at. And I do have this energy of separation. For some reason, protection and separation goes hand in hand with your next lesson. So this can be indicating separation from a particular person, a situation, a place that's not serving you, okay? A place that you don't have protection. Perhaps it's diminishing your protection, right? It's in place, but it's kind of lowering it because it's not matching your vibration in some way. All right, let's get a couple of more cards. And I also do here, okay, money protection, protection of your money. So there is some legal energy coming in, right? The energy of legalities. Protection is justice, is what I'm hearing. Some of you may have been waiting to perhaps put something in place that you may have thought, is that the right move for me? This can be involving spiritual tools, energetic tools, rituals, workings, this kind of thing. The full moon is significant. Let's see. I'm hearing that song by Akon. I'm a rider. What does he say? I'm a soul survivor. Is it something I'm a soul survivor? I'll have to look it up after. That song can connect to someone. Domicile moon. Domicile. Moon abundance. Moon memories, the past. Okay. Protecting yourself from the past, pile 3. This is a part of your next lesson. And how you're transmuting that, it's already showing itself here, is it's going to show up as more abundance for you. It's showing up as abundance. Protecting your past, protecting yourself from the past. I'm just going to get a card on the past, Moon Memories past card, because why would you protect your past? What's that about? Oh, okay. but let me get confirmation. I'm getting it's to do with something you've created in the past. You had it in the past and it's still with you. This can be money. This can be a house, material items, okay, a business. This could be education. Somehow, something from your past requires protection, right? But it's still in the present and it's going to continue with you in the future. For some of you, this can be children, pets, okay? Right. Nine of Inspiration. It's something you worked hard for. And something you've worked hard to protect and keep. Okay, let's see what else. Yes, also part of this next lesson, okay, and this protection energy, it's that not everybody can have access to you. Not everybody can be a part of your current. Not everybody can be a part of your future. And this card came up the other day and it reminded me of the fact that domicile, like it connects to home as well, like address. That's it, address. So it's also to do with like your living space, okay? Not everybody can be in your environment, your living space, and have access to your abundance. It's you. You are the abundance as well. So it's about protecting that, which ultimately again goes back to protecting yourself. So boundaries, this can be working through boundaries and triggers surrounding boundaries, and what I also hear is emotional manipulation. Some of you, you may be very much so highly sensitive and highly empathic, okay? And I'm seeing that you have a big heart. And the lesson here, okay, that you're transmuting is to do with boundaries and not allowing, okay, people to play with your emotions and manipulate emotions. This is what it is. Well, I don't take reverse. And all my cards should be upright, but sometimes this happens because, you know, the cards, they have like their own energy themselves. I'm laughing because, yeah, it just can happen sometimes. It's the energy, and my cards will be upside down even though I keep them upright because I don't read reverse, not really, but I'm taking it because, as I say, my decks, my cards are upright when I tidy them up and stuff. So look, the lovers, relationships, yes, family ties. You may be working through triggers to do with family ties, you know, family ties and relationships, romantic relationships. It's in reverse. That's how it's come out. So past, you're still learning and still transmuting from the past here. And it's key to keep things in place where you have started to and where you're going to. Okay, I do have some of you that have been drawn to this reading. You already have started that process. That's why I'm picking it up that way. But ultimately, it's what you're going to be working through next. So especially in romantic relationships. Path 3, many of you who've been drawn to this reading, you may have a tendency to attract narcissists, sociopath, people with quite, how can I say? Well, look, destructive, right? Destructive personality types. And the thing is here, because of your openness, your open heart, and your healing qualities and abilities and gifts, that is like a red light that, how can I say, red light's probably not the best way, no. It's like a white light, right? It glows like a moth to the flame. Like you light up the night, you know. I'm seeing fireflies. Some of you You may be near fireflies, you spot them, you're going to see them. You are like that. You light up the night, and that attracts these types. This is why protection is key, and particularly when it comes to romantic relationships. So you're transmuting that. Okay, and now I want to see, we've seen a little here of what and how the transmutation will show up, right? What that will be transmuting into when you work through this lesson, as you're working through it. I want to get one more because I just had to clarify that there, and so you've got a couple of extra cards there, but you know, that's fine. Sometimes we need to. So let me see. Eight voices. Yep, you're freeing yourself. You're freeing yourself from the restraints, the constraints of the past, okay? Past triggers, but particularly when it comes to those interpersonal relationships such as romantic and family. There's something here to do with mother figure, okay? And also transmuting, you know, the matriarchy, what's expected of you. And look, this doesn't just have to be talking about a woman, you know, with her mother. No, this can be a man with his mother. Okay, there's something to do with matriarchy, but the shadow side of matriarchy. Okay, the maternal, I hear maternal instinct. Some of you may have lacked that. You didn't have that, like someone who had a maternal instinct about you, but you have it. And again, doesn't matter what gender. Protective. You are so protective of others. Wow. You, and for you, it's this concept of, how can you even do that to someone else? What? When you're so protective and you take care of things so well, and this is also what is looking attractive to those types of personality. Okay. You're rising up. You're rising up and you're getting your freedom here, especially mental freedom as well, okay? And you are protected, and you will be transmuting this protection. Yes, it's justice, so there's transmutation into justice, but also abundance for you, and you being able to go forward, move forward, and live your life. And lesson learned. That's what I hear. I'm hearing you will be saying that one day to yourself. Lesson learned. You're a tough cookie, pal 3. On the bottom of the deck, yeah, look at that. Ace of Voices, because you stand for truth. And you question things. This irritates certain energies. But you're highly connected. Look at that beautiful white owl, snow owl. Some of you are going to spot a snow owl. You're going to see one, and they're quite rare. I've seen one in my lifetime. Snowy owl, I've seen one, and it was in winter, driving through country lane. There's snow everywhere, and it just flew in the sky. Snowy owl. I've only seen one. And I've lived in different countries with snow, you know. So some of you are going to see that. For others, it will be an owl, such as barn owl, a different type of owl. But owls are significant as well. This can connect to a spirit guide, a deity that you work with. And if you listen to the child messages, I spoke about rainbow hair. So this can especially connect to pal 3. There may also be, is that the term rainbow baby, rainbow children? Yeah. I'm going to remind myself about that after I finish the reading. Okay, pal 3, that was your reading. I do hope you enjoyed that today, and I'll see you very soon for another one. Bye for now.